Hey everybody, welcome back to Tech Odyssey. So today I'm here with my 1 week follow-up review with the iPhone 12. I got this exactly a week ago and I put my primary SIM in it and I've been using this as my daily driver. I've been using it with my Apple Watch Series 6. I've been using it for absolutely everything and I gotta say that I like it. But the last iPhone I had a couple of months ago, I was using the iPhone 8 Plus, which I liked a lot. Before that, I was using the new iPhone SE, and before that, I was using the 11 Pro and the 11 Pro Max. So I just kind of moved to the different iPhone devices as they come out. And I really like Touch ID, so I like the 8 Plus. But either way, I think this is a solid phone. And if you're looking to upgrade to it, as long as you're not upgrading from an iPhone 11, I think that you're good to go. I don't really see the point in upgrading from the iPhone 11 to this. The performance, you're just not going to notice much difference. The cameras, you're not really going to notice much difference. The battery life will be a difference because this actually doesn't have as good a battery life as the 11 and the 11 Pro. But otherwise, I think they did a good job. I'm not happy about the fact that they raised the price. We're talking about $799 baseline price, 64 gigabytes of storage. That irks me in 2020. It's doable for most people, probably, but really in 2020 it should have more, especially since you don't have expandable storage. I got the 128 model. That is very comfortable for me using this. So some notable things that they've changed, of course, we talked about before in my initial 72-hour review and the unboxing. It has the flat edges now. It looks very much like the iPhone 5 and the iPhone 4S, the iPhones of yesteryear. So I like what they did there. It looks basically kind of like they combined today's technology, but they put it in the older housing, which I like. I think that it looks good. Some people have been like, it looks cheap or it feels cheap. I don't think so. I think that it does feel plenty quality enough. It gets lint all over it, and I talked about this in previous videos. This gets lint all over it. The silicone case gets lint all over it, and the silicone case has the built-in MagSafe little port thing here on it, so you can connect it, whatever. This case keeps it from working with some wireless chargers. Like I've got my Nomad base station next to my bed that I've always charged my wireless charging devices on. It will not work with this case on it. So if you've got a weak wireless charger, don't plan on it working. It works with another one that I have though, so that's fine, but it's kind of hit or miss. Anyway, I'll put this back on here. I think that it looks solid. I think it looks sharp. Performance-wise, I do like it. Like I said though, if you've got an 11 or 11 Pro, it's really not worth the money for the annual upgrade. If you've got a 10 or a 10S, you're gonna appreciate the extra battery life. I'm getting about 5.5 hours of screen on time on this with about 10% battery left, which I use my phone heavily, like heavily. And I think that for most people, the battery life is probably gonna be fine. One of the biggest upgrades in this phone is something that I think a lot of people may not realize has changed, but there's actually a Qualcomm modem in here for the 5G, for the antenna. Thank goodness we have better signal quality on here now. We have better connection. It's just, I am so happy that they finally moved away from the Intel modem. So that's super cool. I'm glad that they did that. The cameras are just fine. They are maybe slightly improved over the 11 and the 11 Pro. If you had a 10, a 10S, if you had like an 8, you'll definitely notice a difference in that regard. They've got some of the computational photography working with the cameras in here. Night mode, you got the 4K at 60 frames per second with the video. That's really nice, especially since you can do that with the phone. Overall, I just wish it were a little bit cheaper because they had the 10R, they had that at a really good price point. The 11 was still a really attractive offer, so they bumped the price tag up on this. I wish, like I said, they could have kept it a little bit cheaper, but at the end of the day, I think this is probably the best iPhone for most people. I think that the compromises they made to make it thinner and lighter, to me, kind of makes me a little bit happier than having maybe the extra hour of battery life. I think that what they've done with the design, making it thinner, making it lighter, goes a long way for me, especially, yes, there were some compromises in the battery, but I think still it's probably good enough for most people. Performance-wise, it's super powerful. You got the A14 Bionic chip, which is the most powerful smartphone chip ever in the history of mankind right now today. And Apple has done perfectly fine with it. However, do you really notice it? No. It runs to me the same as the iPhone 11 Pro did. I noticed no difference. Will it be better for future-proof applications and some other expanded things? Yeah, it's fine. But if you're looking for something that's groundbreaking or revolutionary in your day-to-day performance, if you've got an iPhone 10, if you've got an iPhone 10s, if you've got an iPhone 11, largely it's going to feel the same. But a lot of people like that and appreciate the fact that they can pick one up and it feels and it runs the same. It's got the same operating system. It's got the same features. It's got continuity. I mean, whenever you restore it from your iCloud backup, it's going to be exactly the same as whenever you left off on your other phone. So I can't really ding them for that because it runs well. I mean, it does. It runs well, and that's what we expect. It just seems a little underwhelming when you say you've got all this power and you never really realize it. Now, maybe if you get into some gaming, you get into some editing some HDR content on your phone because you're recording at 4K at 60 frames per second. You might notice some of that stuff then, though. And of course, that might be a reason that you want to get the 12 Pro Max, so you have the expanded capabilities and also a bigger screen to work with. Now, we're still waiting for the 12 Pro Max to come out. The 12 is here now. And a lot of people probably are going to be interested in this phone. I like the colors. I definitely like the blue on here better than the Pacific blue that sometimes looks Pacific gray or just gray. The way the colors kind of work when they hit the lights this year seem a little funny. They seem very chameleon-esque like, in which they kind of change whenever, depending on whether it's white light or yellow light or however it's hitting it. Overall, though, I think if you want to pick these up, it's worth the money. It's an enjoyable experience. I like the design change. Yes, it's still got the big notch up top. Yes, when you look at it from the screen, it still kind of looks the same as the previous ones, but it feels lighter. It feels better in the hand. I like the square edges on it. I think that they've done a good job, and I think that it's worth the price tag if you want to go pick one up. But of course, you get all the great access to the Apple features and the services. iMessages, iTunes, Apple Music, Apple TV, Apple Pay. I mean, I could probably spend another 20 minutes talking about things that start with Apple or exclusive services and stuff that you get on here. But being able to use iMessage and FaceTime and all that other good stuff on here, a lot of people really appreciate that, and that's one reason why they stick with the iPhone, and I don't think that this one will steer you wrong. It's probably the best phone that they made in a while, in my opinion. So if you're looking to get this new phone, I think that you're going to be happy with it. I think you'll be impressed when you take it out of the box. You'll like the colors, you'll like the finish, you'll like the way that it looks. And that's largely a lot of the selling points this go around are aesthetic. Yes, for most people, you're probably not going to notice any difference between the A12 and the A14, and that's perfectly fine. You don't need to. But will you enjoy the cameras? Yes. Will you like the way it looks? I think so. Will you enjoy it and be able to use it for several years and not have a hiccup and have software and support for a long time? Yes. And that's one of the things that draws people in. That's one of the reasons that I can recommend it. Otherwise, yeah, it feels largely the same. Yes, you have like the widgets and stuff now, which is cool, but you've already got that on your iPhone 11, your iPhone 10. You've got it on all your other phones because it's part of iOS 14. That is not exclusive to this phone. What is exclusive is the new price tag, the new appearance, the new features, and that's what I'm here to talk about. And I like it. I think I'm going to stick with this one. I am going to get the 12 Pro Max when it comes out, but honestly, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm probably going to stick with this. Just because the Pro Max is just such a gigantic phone. I had the 11 Pro Max, and yes, this is going to sound funny. I gave it to my wife. She actually prefers the 11 Pro Max. I just don't like having such a gigantic iPhone. This, to me, makes me much happier. You're really not going to notice any difference in day-to-day performance. Would you like to have the third camera? Maybe. I mean, yeah, the telephoto would be nice because the camera on here only has 5x zoom. After that, of course, it would start to look worse and worse, so I'm sure that's why Apple cut it off there. You will get better zoom capability if you have the telephoto lens because it's a true optical zoom and not digital. This one is digital zoom. But with the primary camera, the wide angle, and all the great features, the video recording capabilities, this beautiful OLED panel with the full HD resolution, I am all about that. I appreciate the upgrades. I'm happy about what they've changed since the iPhone 11. Like I said, if you have the iPhone 11, it may not be worth upgrading, but if you have any model prior to that, you'll really appreciate the sharpness and the screen, the wonderful OLED that's on here. The speakers are good on here as well, so you've got that going for you. And largely, it's just a nice looking phone. It's a pleasure to use. There are no problems with it. It feels just like every other iPhone. It just looks shiny, and I like that. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down in the comments section. I'll get back with you. If you enjoy the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and the little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you guys next time.